Meet Will and Tom, two seemingly ordinary men, cursed with a gift of vast knowledge that is forever expanding. Possessing incredible insight with unparalleled skills and expertise. Let us join them as they embark on a journey to quench their thirst for the truth while answering the questions to life's most intriguing mysteries. Let us open our minds and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I hereby call to order the Richie Rich 1%ers Secret Club meeting. As you are well aware, decreed by tradition, every 7 years we must choose 2 commoners, or normies, from the rest of the 99% and provide them with as much funding as needed so that they may pursue a project of their passion. The normies must use their funding for their project and for no one else's benefit. But before we choose these 2 normies, please submit your lunch request to our 2 assistants, Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett. And remember everyone, we are ordering from Diners and Dragons, the Dungeons and Dragons themed restaurant, and I don't want to hear any complaints this time.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Thomas Lee Case.
This is William Alexander Stark.
I think I said it last time I was going to do it, and I decided I'm going to do it.
It caught me off guard. Well, before we get into this episode, Tom, we actually have an announcement to make.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
Did you want to lead this announcement, or should I?
You know what, William? You could lead us into this announcement.
All right, so we are happy to announce that we're doing another giveaway!
Boom!
This time we're giving away something that everyone loves, cash money.
Yeah, I think everyone can agree cash money is good.
Not everyone's in the glassware sets, but cash money, sign me up.
Yeah.
No, we are giving away $100 in what is it, cash.
Yeah, like one of those like MasterCard gift card type thing.
Yeah, like a cash gift card. The ones that you can use anywhere and they don't have an expiration date. And the thing you could do to enter to win is by spreading word of the show. So me and Tom talked about this at great length, and we decided, we're not going to discriminate how you share the show. It's just whether you do share the show. So if you want to share us on Twitter with the hashtag #DoCouldYouImagine, do that. That'll enter you. You want to share us on Facebook? Send us a screenshot. You could do that. You want to share us on Instagram? You could do that. You want to film yourself telling your friends and family or just random strangers all about the show and send us that? You could do that. If you want to send us video footage of you at the mall handing out flyers of Dude Could You Imagine, you can do that, and that will enter you as well.
Or better yet, even renting a helicopter and dropping pamphlets about Dude Could You Imagine onto the unsuspecting masses.
Do you want to rent one of those planes that drives by at the beach with a huge banner hanging behind it that says Dude Could You Imagine? You could do that. That'll enter you into this contest.
If you want to make a really big sticker of Dude Could You Imagine logo and put it on your car, you could do that too. Just give us the proof.
If you want to buy ad space on your local cable television for a commercial for Dude Could You Imagine, go right ahead. We'll enter you in the contest.
Yeah, even if you want to make your own TikToks about us too, you could go ahead and do that too.
So all you got to do is share the show with someone, telling them to check us out and where to find us, and send us the proof that you did so, and you will be entered to win this awesome Cash Money gift card. And the giveaway will end, you know what, let's announce it on July 4th.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do it on Independence Day, American Independence Day. We will announce the winner.
We will light the fires and kick the tires, or what does he say? Kick the tires and light the fires?
I don't know what you're referring to, Tom, but
Independence Day.
Oh,
the
he
movie.
does say that. Yes, I love that movie, and I didn't catch the reference at first.
I know. I brought it up knowing that you like that movie
too. I used that movie in a recent Super Quest Saga episode, but that's not this podcast. Anything you want to add before we actually get to the show?
No. Well, actually, one thing, because I really am curious now. I really hope someone goes all out. I want to see those
yeah,
awesome,
I hope we get at least one video of someone being crazy with
yeah, that would be
show.
cool. Maybe one of those things where you see them they're surrounded by other apartment buildings and they just yell out their window, "Check out, Dude Could You Imagine?"
That works for me too.
And then you hear everyone else go "We have."
Oh, that'd be
or
cool.
What? Yeah,
that'd be cool. All right, I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's get down to business. And by the way, I think Will has been forgetting these questions ahead of time, right?
Oh yeah. So we're back on the I have no fucking idea what Tom's gonna ask me train. That's been like the last like 6 episodes.
Yeah. And you know, I think it's, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you do your best. You know, you're very sharp. You know what I mean? Like,
it is fun. I think we get a more natural reaction. Let's do it.
So the question today is, what if money was not an issue? What passion project would you pursue?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Was this one that you submitted?
No, I think actually you
submitted
this one.
Okay.
But again, it's been one of those ones that's been on that list for a while now. You know, I knew you were.
I'll be honest, if I did submit it, I don't remember. And whatever I was thinking, I don't remember what I was thinking.
It was a while ago. Okay. But the parameters is the richest of the rich pool their money together and choose
Jeff Bezos himself.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Who else?
Bill
is like
Gates.
Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos,
Warren Buffett,
all of
Elon
them.
Musk.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah, I can't think of any others.
And obviously, because they're all rich, you know that they're part of some secret society. That I mean, come on.
Oh, we haven't had an Illuminati episode on this. You put that on the list.
I am putting on the list.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Continue. Sorry.
So. You know that they're a part of some type of thing like that.
I mean, I disagree, but okay.
They are, Will. You know it.
All right.
No. But that's what's on this parameter. They choose you due to a secret society tradition.
One of us.
Yeah. And then then this tradition makes them pick one unsuspecting person who's part of the 99%.
So we got chosen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got chosen to pursue your passion project. So this is why you have the money. Okay. And you know what I mean?
Now, okay, parameters. Is it one project, all the projects that I want for the rest of my life?
No, actually, it's going to be one project and one project only.
Okay.
But before we get into that,
okay.
I know Fritz isn't part of the 1%.
Fritz is dead, Tom.
So he probably is dead. Yeah, maybe he's dead.
At this point, he's dead.
Or, but like I had to do my own deep dive. So let's go to the deep dive, shall we?
Details from the deep.
So this deep dive is going to be all about, because obviously, there's not really facts about passion projects. I mean, we all know what a passion project is.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Everyone has different, ideas for a passion project. But when I was thinking about the part about how you're going to get the money, I wanted to do a little deep dive into the most wealthy 1% in the U.S.
Yeah. Okay. Oh boy, we're going down this rabbit hole.
We're gonna go down this rabbit hole, this Google hole.
This disgusting Google hole.
Yeah. It takes an annual income of $421,926 to join the 1% in the U.S.
400 and what?
$421,926
a year
annual income.
That's not as much as I thought it would be.
That's my reaction too. I thought it was going to be much higher than that.
Basically, your first fact is we're all a bunch of broke bitches.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what it says is when we think of the 1%, we often think of people ranking in 7 figures a year.
Yes.
But it only takes the comparatively modest figure of $421,926 to join the 1% in the U.S.
So roughly $400,000 a year.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you had asked me, like, this person makes $400,000 a year, what percentile of wealth are they? I would have told you probably like the 90th percentile. So the top 10%.
Also, too, like, but then when I started thinking about it, you think of like these certain doctors, especially especially people who are like plastic surgeons and stuff, like the good ones, and they're raking in, maybe you'd say like 150, 200,000, maybe 250 a year. And you see the lifestyle they live, right? So then it starts putting things in perspective, like, okay, well, if they're making that, and then now you're saying that the 1% makes, if you're going to join the 1%, you'd have to make over 400,000. Now it starts to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But that's according to the data from the Economic Policy Institute, the EPI.
Okay.
That's an average of $35,161 per month, or $1,156 per day.
That's a lot of money. Also, okay, can we stop for a second?
Yeah.
Because this was totally unplanned, and I just want us to enjoy the awesome coincidence that is the episode where we decided to advertise we're giving away some cash money. The questions about
I didn't
money.
Even think about it. Yeah, you're right. and that was not planned at all.
That was not planned at all, but continue.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
That's actually really good. I didn't even think about that. So the richest 1% earn 26.3 times more than the bottom 99%.
Okay.
That sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a part of the 99%.
Well, no, just the wealth disparity in general.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that disparate.
The average 1%er can expect to earn almost the average 1%er can expect to earn almost $1,317,000 per year, according to the EPI study.
Oh, okay. So like that's the median of the 1%.
Yeah.
I see. I would have had that higher, but okay.
By contrast, the average 99%er brings home just $50,107 per year. That puts the average 1% income of about 26.3 times higher than the average income of the rest of the country. That's just so much more higher. The top 1% holds 42.5% of the national wealth. The wealthiest 1% of U.S. residents, about 3.29 million people, hold almost half, 42.5% of our national wealth.
That's spread across, you said 3 million people?
3.29 million people.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
While the remaining...
That makes sense, 1%, yeah.
Yeah, while the remaining 325.7 million people share the remaining 57.5%, according to inequality.org. The 1% earn 20% of the nation's income each year, but pay 30% of the taxes. So while 1% may hold over 40% of the nation's wealth, they only earn about 19.7% of all income in the U.S. each year, but they pay 37.2 of all the nation's taxes, according to the 2016 data from the IRS.
I see.
Many argue they should pay even more taxes, but few realize how much they already pay. I mean, they could, but
I'm not going to make a comment right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's what it is now. You know what I mean? And then the last one here I have. You might be among the richest 1% in the world. Few of us will ever join the richest 1% in the nation, but we may already be among the richest 1% in the world without even knowing it. It only takes an annual income of $32,400 to join the world's richest 1%, according to Global Rich List. It would take workers in poor nations like Zimbabwe 31 years to earn this amount.
Yeah, but how is that into the... No, don't get me wrong. Number one, I don't know a lot about Zimbabwe. I don't know a lot about like the nation's like living standards. But like when you take a poorer nation and you compare like direct value of currency, like what about their standard of living? Like how much further does their money go than our money currency here? You know what I mean? So I think I just feel like there's more nuance to it than that.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I know most definitely there is, and because I think this is all just comparing it. If they were like comparing it to our currency's value,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. So I don't know if we went over all the parameters, but like the thing is, if this happened to me, I mean, morally speaking, I would be hard pressed to do anything that wasn't like directly charitable or beneficial to as many people as possible. So are we taking that off the board? Because you said passion project.
So, wait, what do you mean? So
let's say I get offered literally like, here's 10 billion. To do whatever one thing you want to do with it, you could do whatever. Well, I mean, I'm morally obliged and definitely going to do something that's going to try and like provide as much either food, shelter, or debt relief or whatever to as many people as I possibly can.
And that was your passion? That's what you wanted to do?
Well, what I'm trying to say is like that's what I would be morally obliged to do, and I would be disgusted with myself if I did anything else. But technically, that's not a passion project. That's just me trying to be a good person.
Yeah. Let's say after you do your passion project, if that's what you really want them to do, they'll make donations.
Oh, what I was going to say is like since we're going with the fact that like they're the Illuminati. They're going to be like, but you can't spend a dime of this to benefit a single other person. You must spend this on your own selfish desires. And then I'll be like, well, fuck, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, that is exactly. I mean, you know what?
And twist my arm about
that's actually how they sound. Too. Okay. Like exactly like that.
Who was I mimicking there? Was that?
I don't know, but that was a really good. Like you were like.
I play D&D.
Yeah, that was a really good, like off the wall, like off the cuff, you know,
evil villain
accent. Yeah. You know, like someone who's from the Illuminati, I would hear him and be like, Yeah, he sounds like he's in the Illuminati.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I can take my what's the word? My guilt off the table. I no longer have to feel guilty.
Also, too, I want to let it be known that you don't have to have it to where they just give you a lump sum of money.
No, I know. I needed to throw something out there to illustrate my moral quandary.
Okay, and so just to let you know, and let everyone else listening too who wants to kind of play along, is that whatever costs, any kind of purchases, whatever, those would just be handled for you. Boom,
yeah, the
done.
idea here is no expense matters.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It will be taken care of.
But you're not just getting a lump sum of money.
Yeah, you have a credit card and it has no limit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Did you have an answer?
So I did have an answer.
Okay, let's go with your answer
And,
first. I kind of have mine, but go ahead.
So, no, I can't really say recently. Actually, in the past maybe 5 years, right? Maybe around 5 years ago. No, roughly around 4 or 5 years ago, me and my wife went to our first escape room. And we were blown away.
Oh yeah, they're great.
They're
fantastic.
It. In fact, the first, I think it's called. I don't even remember the name of the place now. It was like the Kronos Escape Rooms, I think it's called.
Okay.
That was the first place I think we ever went, and shortly after that, like I'm talking literally, we went there, experienced their
escape rooms.
Their escape room. Left, walked outside, went on Yelp and looked for any other escape room places, and we booked
You
three
did them
more.
all.
Yeah,
Oh,
we booked
boy.
3 more.
Oh boy.
And
Let me guess, was the first one the best one?
actually no. Well, actually they all were really great.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wouldn't say the first one didn't have as much production value as the other ones that we went to after that. However, they were more spacious and they had more things, I think, in them.
Oh, okay.
But the other ones that we have, I mean, they were all great. We still love that Kronos place too. I mean, they have like really good stories and stuff for that fit their escape room.
Yeah.
But anyways, ever since then, like, a lot of times what I would do is just in my head, I would just imagine like, what would I make? You know what I mean? And it did start to become like this weird thing. It's like, if I ever had the money, I would really love to build one of these.
This is
right?
a shocking answer. I was not expecting this.
I know. It was shocking to me too, because, I know, we always go towards like, video game things or like gaming or whatever. But the next part of this story, which is what really kind of clinched this for me, was I recently went out and saw, I don't know if you're Kevin Smith and Jason Lee, who was of Chasing Amy and other Kevin Smith movies. We went out to this brewery in LA, in Hollywood. And right next to this brewery was this place, I think it was called the Escape Hotel. And sir, out there, can anybody hear me? Please hear me. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, this is Fritz Frivolous. I need your help. I'm stuck. Somehow stuck inside the minds of Will and Tom. I need to escape. Please support them and their podcast. You can go to patreon.com/dudecouldyouimagine or leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. Distract them long enough for me to break free. You can even leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Again, don't forget about me, Fritz Frivolous. We walked by this thing, and I swear I almost said, forget these tickets, and I was like going to go in there instead.
Oh, really?
Because of the fact they had like off the wall production value. The people working in there were all dressed in like, I want to say 1940s, 1930s, 1940s garb, right? Suits. The women were wearing nice dresses, The whole inside looked like if you walked in there, you thought you were transported back into 1940s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just an escape room place. I believe you can actually rent rooms, like it's an actual hotel.
Yeah.
They have a restaurant there that supposedly, we were told, I don't know if I haven't eaten there, but they have a restaurant there as well, and it's a steakhouse. So like, you go in there, and from right at the door when they greet you, you're already immersed into this whole storyline.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So you go in there, you can sit down, you have your dinner, your steak dinner, then you go in and experience their escape hotel or escape room thing or whatever that they offer. And then I think you can stay the night there. So
that's really
like,
cool.
which would be a little kind of creepy because like I think I didn't get to look at. They don't obviously want to spoil everything, so they don't show you everything about their escape room. But a lot of it does seem to be a little creepy, haunted vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
absolutely.
like after you experience that, and then you're like, oh, go ahead and sleep in the same place that you just went through. You know what I mean? I know my wife would be creeped out about that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
But no, once I saw that, dude, that clinched this answer for me. I was like, I would want to surpass even that. I would want to make something. Probably, to be honest with you, what I would want to do, and I don't want to get totally into specifics because this episode would run to like 2 hours long. Mm-hmm. But what I would want to do is build what looks to be like an old castle, right?
Oh, wow. Okay. Hell yeah.
And when people come in there, they think that they're in like, you know, the Renaissance age maybe, or medieval times, or one of those type of
Just
eras.
so you do realize that, because you've mentioned the Renaissance before. Also, in a very strange.
Just be mindful that a lot of my information comes from Assassin's Creed.
What do you think? Okay, let's start there. What do you think the Renaissance is? Like, give me examples of things from the Renaissance. I'm so sorry to interrupt
when
you.
I say that, I'm just trying to use.
Are you trying to say medieval times?
Kind of, but I know the Renaissance came.
They're not the same.
They're not the same.
They're not the same at all. Yeah. Because the Renaissance. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to try to use it to more kind of like paint a picture of like the type of people you'd see out and about.
I'm sorry I've interrupted you, but I really give me Renaissance. What are the first three things that pop in your head? I gotta know.
Painters and like people playing mandolin and lyres. You know, like singing about in the streets.
Okay.
And you know, like and those.
You're thinking about the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah,
oh my
basically,
God.
it's the Renaissance Fair.
So the Renaissance Fair,
but like
everything that you see at a Renaissance Fair is not.
Yeah,
Renaissance
they're not historically
era.
accurate. Yeah,
No. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's not that they're not historically accurate. A lot of times they are, but I don't know why we call them Renaissance fairs because they're not. They're medieval fairs. The Renaissance was like a time period. I want to say in like the 1600s. Leonardo da Vinci. Michelangelo, like the sculptors and the artists, the scientists and the philosophers. That's what the Renaissance was.
The unfortunate part is, though, I think that the masses understand more when you say like
I don't
that
think so. God, I
because
hope
like,
not.
I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have known. You know,
everyone, everybody listening to this right now. Did you know what the Renaissance era was before we had this discussion, or were you under the impression that it was more medieval times, like Tom did? Please, let us know
I
in the comments.
wouldn't say that I thought it was medieval times. I'm just saying that I think what people view as like the Renaissance time is like what you said with the Renaissance Fair.
That's
so like
crazy
using that adjective, you know what I mean?
That's
like
insane.
in that way is why I used it. You know what I mean? Because like I'm not a history buff. So like I wouldn't know, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how many history buffs are out there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That would know that. That's why I would use that type of like
got you.
Adjective.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Tell me about your castle.
But so that's what people would think when they come in there, right?
The medieval times.
Yeah,
Please
like
don't say Renaissance.
Certain around that time. That's what they're thinking.
Okay,
right?
yeah, sure.
So, but then when they actually get in there and they start to do these escape rooms, they're going to notice that it's actually slowly starts to get futuristic. And I want them to kind of get into that mindset that their mind had been warped and they thought they were in a certain time period, but it's all like a ruse. You know what I mean? And they're stuck in like, I don't know if you want to say alien or mad scientist. You know, I don't know those details yet. I don't know those details. All right. But it's going to be one of those things where they're really going to feel like they're a rat in a maze. And at the end, assuming you can escape each room, and this isn't just an hour. You know, most escape rooms, they're just 1 hour you get and you have to escape. No, this is going to be like, this is like an all day thing. So there's going to be a hotel area. So you can, you know, arrive a day before. There will be other festivities there, whatever, music, good food, you know, whatever.
Sure, absolutely.
And then the next day is your whole experience. It starts at a certain time. You'll get your itinerary and boom, it starts. You know what I mean? You get taken to the place. Wow. You know, and
so, but just to kind of go back to your idea here. So they're starting in what seems like a medieval setting, but slowly the rug is going to get pulled out from underneath them and they will realize that like this is actually a farce and it was some sort of nefarious futuristic thing that was messing with them.
Yeah.
And the escape is maybe I got this misunderstood, or maybe I do have it understood. The motif of the escape isn't so much escaping the places, it is escaping the clutches of these people that are messing with reality. That's crazy.
So yeah, and because I really want the experience. I want the experience that the person gets to be where they're just mind fucked.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
I want them to be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, even at the end, I want it to.
You want them to have the Chris Angel experience.
Yeah.
Mind freak.
Yeah. No, like, even at the end, like at the very end, I was even thinking, having this, like, playing with this idea of, like, even whatever company I call this, right? Because you would have to have a company running all this.
Yeah.
Whatever this company's called, at the end, you think it's the end, but it's actually not. There's like one more room you got to go to, but you don't know that. You know what I mean? I want them so mind fucked that they're like, wait a minute, but isn't this the hotel that I'm at? And it's not. You know what I mean? Like, I want them so fucked up in the head that afterwards there's like, oh my God, I cannot believe what
just happened.
Yeah.
You want them to question whether they're actually home or not when they get home.
Exactly. The only downside I could see to this is, like, since there's going to be so many rooms and so many times, it's going to be difficult for everyone. Not everyone will be. So, like,
I don't know if you could cut a profit off this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I wonder. I don't know. Yeah.
Who cares? This is a passion project. They said money is not an issue.
Money's no issue. So the thing about it would be, like, everyone is going to get help. I don't want it to make it easy for the people, but I do understand that, like, not everyone will maybe be able to solve every puzzle.
Maybe you could have like plants in the audience of, like, audience, if they're not moving quick enough. Maybe a fake audience member can figure it out. And everyone will be like, oh, wow.
Yeah. There would have to be something planted in there to help them move along.
Right.
Because, ultimately, you're not going to feel good about yourself if you don't make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand it's supposed to be there to, like, challenge you, but, like, after a while you could tell someone, like, okay, they're not going to get this.
They're not going to get it. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But yeah, that was my idea.
That's a really, really good idea and a very unique one. I'm very impressed, Tom. That was an excellent idea.
Yeah, and I'll refrain from using Renaissance from now on.
No, it's fine. It's just it confused me. Now I understand, but now you've mind freaked me into thinking that, like, maybe the general population has your perception. When they use the word Renaissance, maybe they really are meaning medieval.
Yeah, I think that only because of the fact that I myself am not that much of a history buff, so I don't really know a lot of history. And I'll be honest with you, like, you, out of maybe all the people I know, are like the third person I know of that really would be able to pump out, like,
historical
names
facts,
and historical facts and years and stuff of when that was.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
That's why the way I look at it is like, I don't know if a lot of people really know that.
Yeah, you've blown my mind. Okay, so this is we were just talking about how we're back to the good old days where I don't know what the question is and all this, and I feel like this I've been undermined greatly because you knew the question ahead of time.
Yeah,
and your answer is going to be way better than mine is right now, because when you asked me the question earlier, I was thinking, well, like, I can do anything I want, right? And I was thinking about through all my hobbies, through all the stuff I make, through all the stuff I'd like to make. And I think with that amount of money and that amount of support, I guess I would go for, like, my most ambitious thing that I can pull together all my skills into one single project. So, like, I could record an album or a series of albums, right? Because I'm a musician and that's definitely a huge bucket list for me, right? Or I could write a book or a series of books or a comic book or something along those lines, or even like a script for a TV or movie and get it made, right? That could be a thing that I could do because I love to write and I'm a writer. But I was like, what can I do that utilizes everything, right? That I could be the head of and, like, really pour myself into every facet of this. And the idea was come up with basically my dream video game, which we did have that episode. Okay. But in that episode, it was a little bit more realistic along the lines of, like, what kind of game would you make? What artist, what studio, what composer, and all that other stuff. In this case, I'm kind of changing it up because, like, in this case, since I have all the money in the world and all the backing in the world, I'm going to try and do it myself. Like, I'm going to try and record all the music. I'm going to try and write the entire story and the world and the lore. And I'll hire a team of people to help me.
Yeah, with the technical stuff.
Yeah, with the technical stuff. And obviously, like, I can't actually do the game designing, but like I can bring both my projects of storytelling and my hobby of music making and like go to the highest echelons that I can with those two hobbies of mine and in one single project. So that was the first thing that popped into my head. Yeah. And when it came to like what kind of game, I don't know if I agree with myself. I think before I said I would make a tactical RPG if I could. I think in this case, I might be more focused on an action RPG, an action adventure RPG. And I mean, I've been really, really hard on Castlevania lately. Like, and I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, like a lot of Elden Ring. And I would almost want to do an Elden Ring-esque open world, like very challenging action RPG that's also very rewarding when it comes to exploration and just adventure and stuff like that. I like the grand scale of Elden Ring, but I would really like it if, like, obviously I can't do Castlevania because that's owned by somebody else. Yeah. But Castlevania doesn't own Dracula or werewolves or vampires or any of that stuff. You could use them. But like a gothic horror, Elden Ring style, Soulsborne style, like open world exploration game. I think the music would be a fusion between my style of heavy metal with like symphonic orchestra.
Oh, that would be cool. I could hear that.
One of my favorite, two of my favorite genres to put together, especially for a setting like this. I play a really good metal guitar. I find myself to be a decent enough songwriter. I would try and write the most epic shit that I could. Bring in musicians to obviously play the instruments that I can't in the way that I want, though.
Yeah.
And then I would write the story. I'd probably have a pretty sprawling cast. And Elden Ring's great and all, and Soulsborne games are great and all, but I would actually want a cast with a little bit more personality than just kind of a, what do you call that kind of character? It's like the nameless, faceless, whatever you want. Like the silent protagonist style.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I'm thinking like a squad, like D&D style, like a 4 people.
Oh, okay.
And so in Castlevania 3, you've probably played it, but in that one, if you go down certain paths, you can recruit other members. And as you're going through the platforming level, you can switch over from like,
I think I remember
from
that.
Trevor to Alucard to Sypha, and then there's a 4th guy. So I would kind of want it like that, and maybe like at certain checkpoints, you know, like in Elden Ring, you have like the bonfires, the grace sites.
Yeah.
Maybe at areas like that, you know, the party comes together and you can have interactions. And then when you leave, you can decide who you're leaving as.
Oh, okay. And that would be cool.
All 4 characters would have their own like overarching storylines and goals in the open world. And each maybe has their own individual ending. And you know, like, so like, you know, they work together as a team and their interests like somewhat aligned, but like, maybe the absolute end game, the ideal end game for each of them is a different ending, and so you would do multiple playthroughs.
Oh, that would be cool, and that would make a game good for like what do they call replayability?
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's what I would do with that money off the top of my head. I mean, maybe I would come up with something if I had more time to think, but off the top of my head, like just a project that can utilize all my favorite hobbies, all my favorite artistic like endeavors, and put them into one major project that I'm 100% in charge of. It would be that.
That sounds awesome, though. Like that. No, that was a good answer too.
Thank you.
Because of the fact that it has all the stuff that I would play in the game. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even like when you were talking about though the like you know using you know werewolves and like vampires or whatever.
Yeah.
Because obviously you know Castlevania doesn't own the rights to those. But I was also thinking, and I can't remember if there probably is. I just can't think of one off the top of my head right now of games that use the what did you there's a term for this like Nyarlathotep and
Lovecraftian
the
stuff.
Lovecraftian monstrosities or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh man, I could see you putting that in there, and that would add another sense of like
dread to
the whole game.
Yeah, I could. You know, I love Lovecraft stuff, but at the same time, I've done a lot of it on my own, like on my own projects up to this date. So I'm kind of like I'm ready to kind of like slide a little bit more into classic horror, and I don't know. I've just been in love with the Castlevania franchise a lot lately, whether it's the show on Netflix or just all the old games or even the Metroidvania style games and stuff like that. I've been really into it.
You know what then? You know what we need to do? So once I build my passion project, right, then we'll buy all of your games and we'll put them into the hotel section. So before they do my experience, they could play this game.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it.
But dude, Could you imagine? The podcast you have just heard are the imaginings from the highly evolved minds of the extra-dimensional beings, Will and Tom. It has been translated into a format more easily understood by the human mind. Interpret it as you will. Should you find yourself seeking more answers to life's most intriguing mysteries, you can show your support by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/dude-could-you-imagine. You can also leave an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_could-you-imagine, on Twitter at DCYimagine, and on our YouTube channel, where you can leave a like and a comment. We can also be reached through our email, dudecouldyoumagine@gmail.com. We leave you now so that you may gather your thoughts, until we meet again, to ponder the meaning of the cosmos and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Excellent idea.
Yeah, and I'll refrain from using Renaissance from now on.
No, it's fine. It's just
Yeah.
it confused me. Now I understand, but
Yeah.
now you've mind freaked me into thinking that like maybe the general population